So find your sit bones and tilt your pelvis forward and stack your spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Lengthen your neck. Take in a deep, long inhale in through your nose. And an exhale through your mouth. Let it out. Take a moment to arrive in this space, remembering that this class is an offering and to do what works for you and to opt out of what doesn't work for you. And my invitation is to open your palms towards the sky today, if that feels good, in that open position, inviting openness to the practice and to yoga, to whatever may be going on in your life in this moment. And take an inhale in through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. Let it out. And arrive even more fully into this moment. Mind, body, spirit, all the things coming right into this spot on your mat in this moment. And as you arrive, I invite you to think about the idea of nourishment. And Thanksgiving is about food, but I like to think of nourishment as a full body, mind, spirit experience. Those of you that joined me at Sagrada last week, we talk a lot about nourishing your nervous system and nourishing your heart and nourishing your spirit with things like nature, things like the breath. And so this class is an invitation in the spirit of Thanksgiving to go beyond the nourishment of the food on the table and the connections and the laughter, and to think about your life and nourishing yourself beyond just food nourishment. What might that look like? What does your body need? What does your mind need? What does your heart need? What does your spirit need? Take a moment here to take in an in-breath, sending it to every nook and cranny with those hands open all the way to your fingertips. Exhaling any judgment that questions like that might be selfish, letting it out. Breathing in all the things that might bring you delight, bring you repletion. And exhaling any guilt that might be associated with asking yourself what would feel good for you. And what would feel good beyond food. Yoga is often one thing that feels good. What else would feel good to you? I invite you to bring a hand to heart, two hands to heart, or one hand to heart, one hand to belly, wherever your knowing and messages come from. And ask yourself that question. What would feel good? Huge inhale and exhale. And a pause to listen. A pause to allow and give yourself permission to feel good. Knowing that when we nourish ourselves and replete ourselves fully, we have so much more to bring to the world and to others. Breathing in another inhale and exhale. And I wanted to offer the invitation this morning also of going beyond putting your own oxygen mask on first. Knowing that sometimes, some days we need the oxygen mask to get out of the plane. There may be a crisis, but that most days, perhaps going beyond the oxygen mask, allowing that we're worth it, allowing that investment in full body repletion, full body nourishment, parasympathetic nervous system, breath, space, sights, sounds, smells, cozy blankets, tea perhaps. What might that offer you as a way to move forward? Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. I like to think of the winter holiday season as an opportunity for repletion. Hibernation is repletion, it's rest repletion. What else in your life needs repletion? Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, finger pads touch. Take in an inhale in through your nose and out through your mouth. And perhaps set your intention for this morning's practice. What might that look like? What does your body need, want, crave? Where would you like to focus your own attention this morning? What would nourishment for you this morning look like? Take in an inhale through your nose once again, nourishing yourself with the breath, every nook and cranny. And a huge, long, smooth exhale, let it out. And with this inhale, send the breath to your nervous system with intention. Every sympathomimetic nerve that's overused, sending it the breath, giving it permission to soften and rest. Letting your body know of your intention to go beyond just the oxygen mask, to offer it this beautiful gift. One more long, smooth inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth, let it out. Lower your hands, open your eyes, let the light in and accommodate. Allow yourself to adjust to how you feel now. Allowing that as a gift. And reconnect with your ischial spines and your sit bones. Tilt them forward. Stack your spine. Sit up nice and tall. All the way through your spine. Stack each vertebrae one atop the other. All the way up through your neck and the crown of your head. Reach it tall. Huge inhale. And flushing out exhale as we begin to move. Reach both arms up towards the sky, as tall as you can. Inhale, reach them tall, tall, tall. Fingers stretching, side body reaching. Shimmy your sides just for fun. Letting a little lightness to it. Wiggle your fingers, reach tall, tall, tall. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach your fingers tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist towards the right gently, not too far. Lower your right hand behind you, left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, lengthen, tall, tall, tall. Stack your spine. Exhale, twist gently a wee bit more to the right. Gaze over the right shoulder. Let it out. Inhale, lengthen. Twister, spine lengtheners. Lengthen with grace. Breathing your spine here with the breath and the movement and the twist. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, twist back to center. Drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach your fingers tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Drop your left hand behind. Right hand lands on the right thigh with grace. Envision your spine lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, twist to the left and enjoy it with kindness, not an overdo. Another huge inhale all the way down, bathing every nook and cranny of the lungs, nourishing all those pockets that get ignored during stressful weeks. Going beyond that idea of an oxygen mask and bathing everything, abundance with abundance. Thanksgiving week is a bit of a theme of abundance. Inhale an abundance of breath. Exhale, wring it out, flush it out. Flush out any judgments, frustrations. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, twist back to center. Reach your arms out towards the side. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Clasp your fingers together. Drop your shoulders down and back, extend your elbows, drop your chin to your chest, and enjoy the release here. A huge breath into all the paraspinal muscles that are stretching here. Send the breath everywhere, bathing them. Exhale, release. A full inhale of loving breath into that pocket behind your heart. If you're struggling or confused or frustrated, feeling like you have to start with the oxygen mask, fill that pocket full of breath. Exhale, drop your shoulders a teensy bit more. Bring your fingers towards the floor. Enjoy the release. Release your fingers. Bring your chin back to your neutral. Shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Press your occiput into the shoulders. Massage everything together. Tight, 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 tight. Exhale, release, and pause. Close your eyes and notice all of the energy shifting. Wiggle your fingers lightly. Enjoy how it feels here. Wiggling. And open your eyes. Let the light in. We'll take the block out from under us and come directly to hands and knees today. If you need a blanket to nourish and take good care of your knees, let that happen. Find a spot where you're comfortable. Spread all 10 finger pads wide, Thanksgiving pies between each one. All 10 knuckles pressed down into the floor, both palms, elbows extend, humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. Belly is fully engaged. Notice the tops of your feet and your knees on the floor. Set yourself up well. Knees should be under your hips, tops of the feet graceful on the floor. Inhale for cow pose. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky and your butt sticks up. Enjoy the lovely stretch and lengthen in the front of the body. Exhale, round, drop your head and neck, reach your spine towards the sky. Enjoy bathing your spine and all these tiny paraspinal muscles with the breath and the movement. Inhale for cow. No hurry, no urgency. The intention is to enjoy. Exhale, round, reach your belly all the way up to the sky. Nourish your body with the movement here. Inhale for cow. Stick your butt up, crown of the head up. Enjoy stretching into it. Exhale, round, suck your navel towards the sky. Come back to hands and knees. Pause. Walk your hands forward to handprint, curl your toes, and come right up to downward dog this morning. And we'll pause here. Find a dog that feels good to you. I invite you to try widening your feet to the outer edge of the mat and notice how that feels. Notice if it feels better or worse. Press into your hands, straighten your elbows, reach your hips back and up. Allow your head and neck to release towards the floor. Shake your head. No and yes, whatever feels good. Drop your right heel to the floor, left knee bends. Drop your left heel to the floor, right knee bends. Lift up onto your tippy toes, high, high, high. Press into your hands, reach your sit bones towards the sky. Your hips are the apex here, reaching tall, tall, tall. Lower your heels slowly and enjoy the abundance of sensations here. Nourishing all of the tiny muscles, tendons, fibers in the backs of the legs. Breathe into them, send the breath. And exhale, blowing out whatever's not needed, trapped in there, release. Allow your head and neck to fall towards the floor. Walk your hands about 2 handprints towards your feet. Lower your heels closer to the floor. Take your left hand, reach towards your right ankle and gaze under the right armpit and notice, feel,
Breathe into the left side body here. Huge inhale, bathe the whole left rib cage. Bend the left elbow as you grasp the right ankle. Exhale, release, let it go. Bring your left hand back to the floor, replace. Pick up your right hand, grasp your left ankle, gaze under the left armpit. Breathe into the whole right side body. Bend your right elbow a wee bit. Notice what happens when you do that in the right shoulder, the right waist. Fill it up. Exhale, release. One more breath here into any pocket of tightness that's still sending you a message. Exhale, release. Bring your hand back to center. Walk your feet back to center. Your feet, toes together this time, heels together. Lift up onto your tiptoes. Notice the different sensation. Hips are high, high, high. Press into your hands and elbows. Shift your hips back all the way up on your tiptoes with your toes together. Release your head and neck. Notice the sensations here. Huge exhale, let it out. Gently bring your right foot between your hands. We're not going to raise it. Just lower your left knee towards the floor. Untuck your back toes. Wiggle your right toes forward. Coming into Anjaneyasana. Bring your hands to your right thigh today. Wiggle your right toes forward. Arms are not raised towards the sky yet. Take a minute to get your feet right, your knees comfortable. Slide your back knee back a wee bit. You should have a lovely release in the front of the left hip here. Hands rest lightly on the right thigh. If you have blocks, you can use 2 blocks here and enjoy them. Hands are loose on the right thigh, not sinking into it. Inhale, reach the crown of your head tall, lengthen your spine towards the sky. Exhale, sink into that left hip. Bend your right knee a wee bit more and enjoy. On the exhale. One more inhale here. And an exhale, sink in a smidge more right into that right hip. Notice if you get to the edge and pause there. The intention is not to go beyond the edge. The intention is to nourish all of that hip flexor tightness from the week, from the sitting, from the driving, all of those things. Envision it opening a little bit. Allow the breath and the stretch to nourish and bathe every nook and cranny of that left hip. One more breath into that hip. Exhale, let it out. Lower your hands to the floor. If you have blocks, you can bring them right under your shoulders. You straight your right leg. Your right toes will come towards your nose, and your hands will come directly under your shoulders into a half splits. Flex your right ankle, bring your toes towards your nose, and enjoy the release in the back of the right leg here. Your back is flat. The hinges in the waist, you're not rolled over. Heart shines like that lighthouse, beacon of light towards the front. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. An abundance of sensations here. Use the breath to bathe every nook and cranny of the back of the right leg. Exhale, point your toes. Flex your ankle towards your nose. Enjoy it. Point your toe towards the floor. Flex your toes towards your nose. Draw your attention to your left foot. You're going to turn it 90 degrees as like a kickstand. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right knee. Both hands are going to be on the left side of your right foot. Reach your left hand up towards the sky, opening up. Right arm is straight, right leg is straight. Huge inhale into the inner thigh and the back of the right leg here. Reach those left fingers towards the sky. If it would feel good, take the left hand and lower it into your right hip crease. Roll your left shoulder open. You can gaze up towards the sky or down towards your toes. Try both and enjoy the different sensations here. Wiggle those right toes. Release your left hand back up towards the sky. Engage your left side body. Rise up. Your arms are going to reach in either direction. Drop your left hand to the floor, coming down into a gate pose. Right toes will face towards the side of the mat. Right arm reaches over your right ear, gracefully coming into a gate pose. Huge inhale into the whole back ribs here. If you wish, raise your right foot up in the air as a balance. Let it out. Huge exhale. Lower your right foot. Press into the left hand. Rise upright. Arms in a T in either direction. Your right toes perpendicular. Lower your right hand down the right thigh. Reach the left arm over with grace. Over the left ear towards the other side. Fan open the whole left rib cage here for fun. Breathe into every nook and cranny, nourishing every spot that is often ignored. The top of the left waist. Breathe into it. Huge exhale, let it out. Come back to arms to a T. Turn your right toes back towards the front of the mat. Wiggle them over to the right side. Turn your left foot back towards the back of the mat and come into a high lunge here. Find your balance, widen your stance. Pause for a moment. Hands are on the floor or on the blocks if you need them. Straight your right knee. Come into a long triangle. Back heels off the floor. Bend the right knee. Straight the right knee. And bend the right knee. Nourishing the whole back of the right leg, bathing it with stretch. 2 more at your own pace. Bend the right knee. And straight the right knee. Last one. Bring your back foot up to meet the front foot. Come into a forward fold. Take your hands to your elbows and release your head and neck. If you don't like being upside down, back can be flat. Crown of the head reaches forward. If yoga makes you dizzy or nauseous or your head hurt, back can be flat. Stick your butt out towards the back wall. Knees can be bent. Be kind to yourself here. Neither is better or worse. You're getting a different release depending on which position you do. But don't do something that makes you feel bad. Release your head and neck towards the floor. If you're folding forward, grasp your elbows and enjoy a little twist here. Waggle your rear end if that feels good. Twist your shoulders one way or the other. Drop your hands to the floor, engage your belly, and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. Move ever so slowly, especially for those of you who get dizzy or don't like the movement. I do a lot less movement than, say, a vinyasa flow, but some people, it's still too much. So you do what works for you. When you arrive, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Pinch them all the way up. Pinch them back towards the back of the mat, scapula together. Pinch, 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 tight as you can. Enjoy. Exhale, release. Let your hands fall towards the floor. Wiggle your fingers. Notice how it feels. Take a minute here to notice how you feel in this moment compared to when you began. Enjoy it. Huge inhale into your chest. And exhale, let it out. Ground your left foot into the floor. Lift up all 5 toes and lower them down like tree roots. Sending that left leg down like a trunk into the earth. Bend your right knee, raise it to 90 degrees to hip height. Allow your foot to be released and flexed. Roll your ankle in one direction and then the other.
Bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Pause in this balance pose. If you need the wall, let it help you. Getting help helps. Inhale, stand tall, engage your belly. Everything calm, peaceful. Exhale, twist towards the right. Extend your right hand behind you if that works for you, and gaze behind you. If it doesn't work, just stay here in the half twist. Don't overdo it. Notice what works for you. There's lots to be gained by the half pose. In fact, for most of you, that might be the spot where you have the biggest release and the biggest growth. When we push ourselves too far, sometimes we get stuck. Pause where it feels good. Notice when you relax in, you wiggle your fingers and your toes, you have more balance. Come back to center, bring your hands to heart center. Press your thumbs into your sternum, extend your toes, bend your toes, extend your leg, stretch your leg long, bend your knee, lower it down and take a little shimmy, wiggle things out, get all the kinks out, roll your ankles, your knees. Roll your shoulders back 3 times with intention, bathing every nook and cranny with movement and breath. And forward 3 times with intention. Pause. Lift up all 10 toes and lower them down into the floor on the right side. Connect your right leg downward like a tree trunk. Raise your left knee to 90 degrees and pause. Find your balance, your center here. Taking a moment, we often don't take the time to find our center. Even hips, knee parallel to the waist. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand reaches behind, gaze can come behind to the left. You may notice that one side's easier than the other. You may want the wall to put your left hand on. Notice what feels good. Or do the half pose where your left hand is down by your waist and gazing just over the left shoulder easily. Notice what your body enjoys. One more breath here. Soften in as the wobbles come. Come back to center, release your hands, bring them hands to heart center, press your thumbs into your sternum, extend your left leg. Bend, extend, and bend. Lower that left leg down, shake it out. Release any kinks and tightness with kindness. Roll your shoulders back. Roll them forward. Huge inhale. And exhale, release. Bring your hands to heart center. Lift up onto your tiptoes as high as you can. Balance here on your tiptoes. Huge inhale, sending the breath all the way down through your calves, all the way to your toes. Heels are up in the air, everything engaged. Exhale, lower your heels down. Lower your arms down and out. Open towards the slide. Bring them together above your head. Slight arch back. Fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Your back is flat, spine is straight. Palms come to your shins or your thighs, whatever works for your body or even your body today. Exhale, forward fold. Engage your belly and roll up. Nourish and bathe your spine with the movement, rolling up inch by inch by inch by inch until your head arrives at the top. Open your arms out and up towards the sky, slight arch back, hands come to heart center. Pause for a moment. Inhale and exhale, using the breath to nourish your body. Lower your hands down and out, open them out towards the sky, out towards the side, slight arch back, palms come together, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift once again, spine is straight, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. Palms come to the earth, step back to plank and pause. Find your center. Notice your strength. Spread your fingers wide. If you need to do hands and knees, you can do that also. Huge inhale. Drop your heels to the right. Right arm's going to reach towards the sky in a side plank. If you need to drop your left knee and kickstand, you can do that. Hang out here, huge breath all the way to the right fingers, all the way out through the right legs. Send kindness and love to that left hand and wrist for supporting you. Huge inhale. If you wish, reach your right arm over the right ear, lift your right hip up a wee bit more, breathe into every nook and cranny, nourishing and bathing everything. Exhale, release. Reach your right hand back to the sky, come back to plank. Find your center here, even, balanced. Drop your heels to the right, left hand reaches towards the sky. Side plank here, right knee can bend and you can kickstand if you need. Notice what feels good to you. Big breath in. Exhale, drop your left arm, over the left ear, stretch the whole left side body. Sending love to that right wrist, right fingers, all 5 fingers press into the earth here. Breathe into it. Huge, flushing it out. Exhale. Nourishment is in part getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't feel good, the stale stuff, making space. Space is very nourishing. Think about a decluttered, clean house. Yoga can do that for your body. Reach your left hand towards the sky. Come back to plank pose. Pause for a moment. Lower your knees, bend your elbows, come down chaturanga towards the earth. Lower your third eye towards the floor. Weight is out of your hands. Inhale, slight arch back, come into low cobra. Heart shines forward, crown of the head reaches forward. Bathe your lungs here with a breath. Huge exhale, sending it out in front. Lower down towards the earth. Curl your toes and press up and back to downward dog in whatever way feels good to you. Pause here for a moment and do what you need to get the kinks out. Taking a moment to notice, nourish yourself with a little bit of movement here. Undoing any tightness, anything that's craving attention. Perhaps drop your head towards the floor. And notice your heart here. Does it need attention? In this position, upside down, a shift in perspective. Space for the heart to fill fully. Gently bring your left knee in front, coming into Anjaneyasana or a low lunge here. Wiggle your left toes all the way forward. And take a minute to adjust your hips so you're comfortable. Left hip likely tucks back a little, right hip tucks forward. Notice your left toes. Make sure your left knee, as you bend it, is not in front of your left ankle. And adjust your back knee if you need. Slide it back. Hands rest lightly on the left thigh. They don't need to reach towards the sky today. Weight is out of those hands. It's for balance that they're on the left knee. Take in an inhale. Bathe that right hip flexor with the breath, and perhaps with some intentional love and space. Getting out of that fight or flight, tightness, reactivity. We carry so much of that into our hips. Use the breath and the stretch and the space and the time. No urgency to loosen it here. Nourishing it fully. And as you stay here in low lunge, notice your heart. Notice how it feels. And notice your nervous system. Does it feel different? Another breath here. With love, right into tightness, into that right front hip. Lower your hands to the floor, right under your shoulders. Straight your left knee, Come back to half splits. Left toes are going to reach towards the left knee. Hinge at the waist. You're not folded or rounded. Your back is flat. Toes reach towards the left knee. Point your toes. Bathe the fascia. Support your back by loosening your hamstrings. Nourishing your whole body here with these slight movements. Point your toes and flex your toes towards your knee. Huge inhale. And exhale, hinge a wee bit farther forward if it feels okay. Bring your left hand to the inside of the left thigh. Turn your right toes towards the back of the mat. Reach your right arm towards the sky. Notice the release in different pockets in the waist. Wiggle those right fingers towards the sky. If you wish, you can drop your right fingers into the left hip crease and roll the right shoulder open, gaze up towards the sky, if that feels good. Reach your right hand towards the sky once again. Engage your right waist, rise up. Arms will come to a T. Drop your right hand to the floor. Your left toes will come to the floor, coming into gate pose. The right foot is very much kickstand to help you with stability. Huge inhale. Exhale, lower your left arm over your left ear. If you wish to raise your left foot into the air to a balanced pose, do that for fun. You can leave it on the floor, whatever feels good to you here. Huge inhale. Sending nourishment to your waist. One more breath. Press into that right hand, rise upright to a T. Left hand comes to the left thigh. Slide it down towards the left foot. Reach your right arm up and over the right ear. Right waist opens up in a different way. Huge inhale. And exhale. Another inhale. And exhale. Reach your left arm back up alongside the right. Undo the right foot kickstand. Turn your toes towards the front of the mat. Lower your hands on either side of the left foot. Untuck your back knee. Come into a high lunge. Back heel is off the ground. Toes face front. Bend the left knee and take a minute to get comfortable. Likely a wider stance. Straight your left knee. Come into a long triangle. Back heel is off the earth. Bend the left knee. Straight your left knee. And bend. Move in whatever way feels good to you. You can also just hold the long triangle if your body likes that. Take a moment and ask what would feel good and honor that. It might be different on this side than the other. We often think it has to be the same. Bend the left knee. Hop your back foot forward, coming alongside the right. We're going to widen our feet to either side of the mat and come into a yogi squat here. Your feet are wide. You're going to sink your hips down and low. Elbows will come to the inside of your knees. For those of you who haven't done this before, you can sit on your blocks. If that works for you, you can have a blanket under your heels. If that works for you, you'll bring your hands to heart center. Knees will press into, your elbows will press into your knees slightly. Back is flat as well. Huge inhale and exhale. So if you need to sit on a block, you can put it on the tallest setting. You can set 2 blocks under you. You can stay upright like this, whatever works for your body here. Huge inhale once again. And an exhale, let it out. One more inhale, breathing in. And an exhale, let it out. For those of you who want to go deeper, you can put your left hand on the floor, on the inside of the left knee, reach your right arm up towards the sky, come into a twist. Bring your hands back to center. Lower your right hand, reach your left arm towards the side, gaze up towards the left. Come back to center, bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment to notice your groin, an area we don't really send much attention to. Sending it nourishment, kindness, and love for all the things in life it helps us with. Lower your hands towards the floor, straight your knees, shoot your hips up towards the sky, turn your toes towards the front, release your head and neck towards the floor. Engage your belly and roll up. Inch by inch by inch by inch. Head will be the last to rise. And when you arrive, pause. Notice how you feel. Let everything integrate. Giving yourself the pause rather than just moving on quickly. We have nowhere to get to in this moment. Allowing the energy to come down into your fingers and into your toes. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Checking in and asking yourself what would feel good in the rest of the day, in the rest of the weekend. What do you need to replete yourself beyond putting an oxygen mask on? And with loving amusement, a thought that that's what our society recommends, putting an oxygen mask on. But what if you created a life where you didn't need an oxygen mask? You knew what felt good, and you did a little more of that. Knowing that when we do what feels good to us, others also feel the freedom and liberation to do a little more of that for themselves as well. A huge inhale into that pocket behind your heart that sometimes may feel lonely or hollow, or might think that it's selfish or not okay to live like that. Sending it a little love, knowing that those are things that we've heard throughout our life. But maybe, just maybe, now is an opportunity to move forward, nourishing yourself fully. Thinking about flowers in a garden or the harvest season, when they have appropriate fertilizer and nourishment, they bloom like crazy. They're so beautiful. What would that look like for you? To show up in life with the abundance of thanksgiving rather than depletion, fasting. Lower your hands and we'll slowly come down to a comfortable seat. Stretch your legs long in front. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Connect your ischial spines, your sit bones into the floor. Excuse me. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Spine reaches towards the sky, aligned, each vertebrae one atop the other, straight, all the way through the crown of your head, reaching towards the sky. Hands are light by your sides. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, release. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hug it tight. Release that right hip. Huge inhale. And exhale. Left arm wraps around the right knee. Bring your right fingers behind you. Tent them behind you like cupcakes. Draw the right shoulder behind. Huge inhale, lengthen your spine, reach tall. Exhale, twist to the right, ring it out. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen, press your fingers into the floor, shoulder down and back, belly engaged. Exhale, ring it out, let it go. Come back to center, wrap your right elbow around the right knee. Left hand comes behind you, slight counter twist. Drop your left shoulder, reach, gaze over the left shoulder. Exhale, let it out. Come back to center, hug the right knee in towards you. Left hand grabs the outer edge of the right foot. Extend your right leg long in front. Enjoy the release in the outer right IT band. Left hand, if it feels good, can come behind you, press it into the floor, Gaze over the right shoulder. Huge inhale into the right leg. Bathing it with breath and nourishment. Exhale, release over the right shoulder. Bend the right knee, lower the foot to the floor, come back to center. Hug that right knee in towards you. Sit up tall on your ischial spines as you do so. You may need to move it laterally if your tummy or your chest is in the way. Connect your sit bones into the floor, hug it tight, sit up tall, tall, tall. Lengthen your spine, lengthen your neck, reach the crown of your head towards the sky. Exhale, let it out, extend the right leg alongside the left. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Bend your left knee in towards you. Hug it tight. Hug it tight, tight, tight. Ischial spines connect downward. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward. Stack your spine. Right arm wraps around the left knee. Left hand comes behind, little cupcake hand. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist, release over the left shoulder. Inhale, reach tall towards the sky. Exhale, a teeny bit more of a ringing out. Enjoy it. Come back to center. Wrap your left arm around the left knee. Right hand comes behind you in a counter twist. Drop your right shoulder towards the back, down and back. Inhale, gaze over the right shoulder, straight the right arm. Exhale, ring it out. Draw that right shoulder a tiny bit farther back and down as you gaze over that right shoulder. One more breath, lengthen the spine, sit tall. Exhale, ring it out. Twist back to center and give that left knee a huge hug. Lift the left foot off the floor, squeeze it in towards you. Belly is tight, sit up tall, crown of the head reaches tall, shoulders down and back. Exhale, release. Lengthen the left leg in front. Move the flesh of your seat. Engage your belly. Inhale your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward towards your toes. Release your head and neck. Notice how it feels. Huge inhale, bathing the back, bottom ribs. Exhale, flush it out. Slide up your shins to your knees to a seat. Bend your knees. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Lift your feet up towards 90 degrees, coming into boat pose. Many of you will pause here as a beautiful boat. Spread your toes wide. Bring your heels together, toes apart. Relax your toes, bring your feet in parallel. Shins are parallel to the sky, parallel to the floor. Engage your belly. If you wish, you can release your hands by your sides. If you notice a gripping in your hip flexors, don't do this. Keep your hands behind your thighs. Engage your belly. Notice how you feel. 2 more breaths here in boat pose. In whatever pose you choose. Lower your feet to the floor, rock towards the top of your ischial spines. Bring your hands to the front of your shins, hug them in, sit up tall, straight your spine, tall, reach the crown of your head, tall, everything hugged tight. Exhale, release. Extend your legs long in front, arms are parallel to your legs, and roll down to the floor. When you arrive, bend your knees. Bring your heels towards your butt. Bring your right ankle over the left knee, pardon me. Coming into a figure 4. Today, keep the left foot on the floor to begin. Right hand comes to the right knee. Press the right knee gently towards the front of the mat. Huge breath in, giving everything a chance to accommodate and adjust here. Exhale, release. Exhale, release. If it would feel good to you, bring your hands behind your left thigh, pick up the left foot and come into a more traditional figure 4. Both feet are flexed to protect your knees. Right elbow presses into the right knee. If this is too much,
leave the left foot on the floor. Enjoy it. Ask yourself, what would feel good to you? What would feel good is likely going to give you the best results. That's not what we were taught. But in yoga and actually in life, it can be an incredible tool. Notice what feels good. Ankles flexed to protect your knee in whatever position you're in. If it would feel good to grab the left shin and hug it in, do that to release the right hip. Perhaps roll your ankles if that would feel good. Lower the left foot towards the floor. Bring your knees so they're knee to knee. You're going to cross that right leg farther over the left leg. So you're in a tight cross. You can wiggle that left foot a bit more towards the right. Bring your arms up over your head into an easy cactus shape. Allow your knees, both of them, to fall towards the right. Coming into a tight twist, you won't likely fall far over as usual. The left sole of your foot pointed towards the left. Enjoy the release here, not overdoing it. If you need a bolster or a block under your knees, do that. Inhale. If it would feel good, gaze to the left. If not, stay where you are. One more breath. Bring your gaze back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Even out your shoulders. Bring your hands down to your knees. Bring your knees in towards your chest. If it would feel good and you can reach, slide your hands down to your ankles. Hug your knees in tightly towards you. Be kind to your knees and enjoy a wee bit of a release in the outer right hip as you hug your ankles towards your butt. If this isn't accessible, stay where you are. Everybody is different. Hug those knees in towards your chest. If that feels good, you can bring the knees in. Notice what feels good. Release your ankles. Lower your left foot towards the floor. Uncross your knees. Bring your heels in towards your hips. Sorry. Wiggle your fingers towards your heels. Press into your forearms and your hands. Lift your hips up towards the sky, coming into an easy bridge, undoing the back body. Knees energetically connect. Hips reach high, high, high towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you. Your hands can clasp. You can grab the outer edges of your mat. Undo your back. Bathing all kinds of things here with nourishment, breath, stretch, movement. Exhale, release, let it go. Untuck your shoulders. Unroll your spine, inch by inch by inch by inch, ever so slowly till your hips reach the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice rock. If you'd like to come into happy baby, grab the outer edges of your ankles, draw your knees towards the floor, open your groin. If it would feel good to bring your feet together, do that. Knees apart. Lower your feet towards the floor. Once again, hands come by the sides of your waist, palms down. Left ankle comes to the right knee. Press your left hand into the left knee. Enjoy that release. When you're ready, grab the back of the right thigh, hug it in towards you if that works for your body. Ankles are flexed to protect your knees. Press your left elbow into the left knee and enjoy. Huge inhale and exhale. Allowing your heart to slow down. Notice what feels good.
If it would feel good, bring your hands to your right shin and hug it in. Maybe different than the other side. Suspend judgment. Nourish yourself with non-judgment. For many of us, that's a trick. Just practice and play with it. Slide your left knee over the right knee, bringing the knees towards center. Bringing your feet towards one another. Arms will come over your head. And you'll drop your knees to the left this time. Open the right hip and enjoy. Notice your heart rate slow. If you wish, gaze to the right. Bring your gaze back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Untangle them. Lower your feet to the floor. Untangle your shoulders if they are wonky. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana, an incredibly nourishing pose, restorative pose, repleting pose. Bring your arms down from above your head, left hand to heart, right hand to belly, if that works for your shoulders. Take a moment here to check in. Notice how you feel. Long, smooth inhales. If you need blocks or pillows under your knees, grab those. Some of you might wish to stay here for Savasana, nourishing yourself in this way. Take a moment and check in. Would that feel nourishing? Or would it feel more nourishing to bring your hands to your outer thighs, draw your knees together, and extend your legs long in front, letting your toes fall towards the outer edge of the mat. Palms open is the invitation today. If you're in Shavasana, if you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, hand to heart, hand to belly. Take in a long, smooth, nourishing inhale. Nourishing your heart. Exhale, let it out. A long, smooth inhale into the belly space. Let it out. And send an inhale to your nervous system with intention. Bathing wherever it might feel tight. Exhale, let it out. And we'll relax in here to Shavasana, a chance for full integration of all of the nourishment, all of the breath, all of the movement, letting it all sink in and absorb and integrate in whatever way your body needs. Let the body breathe for itself. Let go of all control of the muscles. Let the earth hold you. And allow yourself a few moments to relax and be, replenish and replete. any of you wish to stay in Shavasana longer, if that is what your body would enjoy and would be nourishing, please do. For those of you who would like to come out, gently deepen your breath. Slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. If and when it would feel good, reach your arms long above and your toes long in front. Take in an inhale into every nook and cranny that stretches open there. Fully nourishing, fully bathing with love and oxygen and kindness and care. Draw your knees together into your chest, wherever you are, and roll over to one side. Pause for a moment, checking in. Notice how you feel. Thank yourself for gifting yourself this time. Time for you. Time to replenish and replete beyond a quick oxygen mask. What might it look like to move forward this week with an intention of nourishing yourself fully in all the ways? Heart, mind, spirit, belly, soul. Sights, sounds, smells, connection, laughter, intimacy, love, learning, curiosity. Which of those do you need more of? What would feel good to you? Press your hands into the earth and slowly come up to a comfortable seat where we began. Find your sit bones, connect them into the earth, tilt your pelvis forward, stack your spine, sit up nice and tall. Huge inhale into that chest space, hopefully a little more spacious. And an exhale, let it out. Choose if you'd like your hands open towards the sky on your thighs and knees or hand to heart. Take in an inhale and an exhale, let it out. May you all be loved. May you all be nourished fully this week. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today.